It's the final night of section hockey across the state of Minnesota, and tonight on Channel 12, the Section 4A championship game between the Mahtomedi Zephyrs and the Totino-Grace Eagles. Hello and welcome to Aldrich Arena in Maplewood. John Jacobson along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, you look at the records of these two teams, Mahtomedi and Totino-Grace, each with 10 losses coming in, but both coaches will tell you their teams are playing better down the stretch when it counts.
Yeah, they really both said second half of the season was way different than the first half of the season. And they didn't play any wussy schedules either. Mahtomedi plays in the classic suburban with St. Thomas and a lot of these other schools, but they both feel they've made a big step here, and that's why they're in this championship game right now.
Each team looking to get to state for the first time in a while. For Grace, it's been 9 years, 2005 when they were state Class A runners-up, and for Mahtomedi, 4 seasons. So each team, each program has been to state quite a bit in the past, but none of these guys on the ice here has been to the state tournament.
That'll be a new experience for them. For one thing, St. Thomas moved up, which really helped them in this section, but these two teams have had a real good tradition of hockey, and they have got some state tournament experience behind them. So I think it's the first time in a long time they've met for a championship. We were talking about how many times they've met in the semifinals. So it's a big game for them. It'd be good to see these kids get through the state.
Let's look at our key players. First of all, for Mahtomedi and sophomore forward Jack Becker.
Sophomore forward. Unbelievable. He's a big kid. 35 points for a sophomore. That's darn good, especially in the conference they play in. But he's got 8 power play goals. This kid's an igniter. He takes that special moment and he knows what to do with the puck, and he can get his team rocking and rolling. So he'll be a big factor for the Zephyrs tonight.
For Totino-Grace, their top scorer forward has been Kai Barber.
Speaking of big, you know, he's had some injuries and stuff like that, but Coach Lohr said second half of the season he's really picked it up and he's gotten it going, and he's getting hot at the right time. He's had 3 goals and 1 assist in the section run here. This is a good time for him to pick it up, and because, you know, right now we're playing for the Marbles. Let's go to state, you know, so they'll be depending on him to step up.
As far as styles tonight, Dan, what can we expect? Is there going to be a big contrast between the Zephyrs and the Eagles?
Not really. They both have good size, they both have good speed, and they play system hockey. We're not looking at a bunch of superstars. They play well together. We'll see a lot of good puck movement, and they play from the pipes out. So they start playing well defensively and pick off whatever they can. So we'll see transition goals and mistakes. That'll be the difference. The team that makes the biggest mistake is going to lose this game.
First winner tonight will go on to the state tournament next week. Class A play starts Wednesday in St. Paul. We'll come back and drop the puck in the Section 4A championship game. Mahtomedi, Totino-Grace next on 12 Sports.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Maplewood, Section 4A championship for 2014. The number 2 seed, Mahtomedi, the number 1 seed, Totino-Grace, with a spot in the state tournament on the line.
Both teams surrounding their goaltender in a traditional way and getting ready to play for a berth in the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament, one of the best traditions in the United States. Looking forward to a really good game. This ought to be a good one, John. I'm figuring about a 1-goal difference.
Same colors for both schools. Mahtomedi in the dark jerseys tonight. Totino-Grace in the home white. As you look at Thomas Hennon, the goalie for Mahtomedi, 13-6 on the season. Goals against 3.02. Save percentage, .879. And the opening face-off controlled by Totino-Grace. From center, chopped ahead to the Eagles' blue line. Played back out to center and shot ahead and into the Zephyr zone. An early icing on Totino-Grace. Dominic Whippler, the goalie tonight for Totino-Grace. 14-8-1 on the season. Goals against average of 2.50.
He's had a pretty steady and consistent season for the Eagles here, and has kept it up in the section, so they can count on him in the pipes. They might allow them to take a few more chances because they know he's back there.
Zephyr shoot the puck into the Totino-Grace zone. Puck in the corner, played by Chandler Nauman of Grace. Up the wing, out to center they come, a drop pass, missed at the blue line, and back come the Zephyrs. Jack Heinz got it as far as the Grace zone, and then they turn him away. Ben Henderson with the puck. Pass up to his left, Carter Lyons at center, rink-wide pass. Couldn't connect with Nick Pandesky there, and the Zephyrs get it back out to center. Back they come, Kellen Campbell into the zone, avoiding a check, has it behind the net, put it out front. Comes across to the boards and then played out of the zone by the Eagles. Another icing call on Grace. These teams played early in the regular season. Mahtomedi winning against Totino-Grace at Brooklyn Park Arena, 4-3. The final score in that game. As Dan mentioned in the pregame, this section for years dominated by St. Thomas Academy, but the Cadets moved up to Class AA this year. Actually, were eliminated in section play by Egan last night. Their first year up to the big class. Puck at the side of the Eagles' net and played out by Grace. Shot from the left side by Tandesky, rings high off the glass, back behind the net. Along the boards, kept in at the point by Nauman. Back behind the net, Alex Jensen from Mahtomedi playing it. Up through center, they wave off any icing, and skating back forward is Matt Olson. The senior defenseman takes it, getting the pass to Kyle Broad out to center, shot back in by the Zephyrs. Nauman behind his net takes a check as he released the puck from the blue line. They look for a chip in front, goes wide off of Kangus's stick. And gathered up by Blake Vogley. Left side, Andrew Schneider got it out to center. And backhanded to the Mahtomedi line by Olson before the Zephyrs square it back ahead. Quick outlet pass comes to Schneider. He'll shoot it in. Bounces past Hennon, comes loose in the corner, and then gathered in by the Zephyrs to the blue line only. The Eagles and a long shot on net. And Hennon makes the glove save. That came in quickly from the point, Dan, off of Carter Lyons' stick.
Lyons just had a nice, really just ripped a quick snapshot off there. Had a lot of velocity on it, and Hennon had to be quick on that one. That was, I think that's the first shot on either goal for the game.
Very briefly, you saw Jeff Polschel as the head coach at Mahtomedi. I know his 16th year as head coach. I mentioned the most recent tournament appearance coming in 2010. They've had half dozen appearances in the 90s and 2000s. And both of these schools have.
I think that last Mahtomedi team had a gentleman by the name of Ben Marshall on that team. I think that's wearing a little maroon and gold. There's Coach Mark Rohr. How many years, John?
32nd years head coach at Totino-Grace.
Man, that's dedicated. You know, as we're watching this game, guys, you can see these are kind of a lunch bucket two teams. You know, there's not a lot of grace and skill. They're just dumping the puck in and going after it and playing some grit hockey here, both teams.
Pass comes up to center as Joe Forcia steaming down the wing. Comes to it. The rebound. Oh, now that miss. Wide. Whippler got a piece of it, and the Eagles come back out to center. They had a great opportunity there. Forcia coming in, and then Campbell trailing the play. Now it's Mike Neal. Turned it over. Here's a chance for Barber. A big save. Rebound. Another stop by Hennon. There's Tandesky rather on the
shot, and then it's Mahtomedi able to clear it down into the Totino-Grace zone. It's back behind the Eagles net, dug out by Slack. Whistle, and the net has come off just a little bit. We'll get a face-off in the Grace end.
You see just a burst of speed here by number 7 for Osseo coming in. Just a good save, and then bang, a rebound comes back out, and another good save, and then coming back the other way. Grace using the defenseman as a screen, gets a quick shot off, and then comes back from the far side on the rebound here. Both goalies had to be sharp there, making 2 quick saves each.
Shot from the blue line. It looked for a tip in front. It was loose and cleared nicely away and out of the zone by Carter Lyons before the rebound could be had for the Zephyrs. Now Mahtomedi coming back out to center. It's off the Boo's stick. Carried in by Reed Matheson. Played back behind the net to Kyle Brote. To the blue line, kept in by Keeney. And Critch played it up to center, intercepted by Dittburner. Into the zone, Dittburner rifles a shot wide of Whippler in the Eagles net. Centering attempt. Broken up. Played around the inboards by Becker, the big sophomore we talked about in the pregame. Played by Critch now of the Eagles. Back behind the Grace net. Hit in the corner. On the blue line, the shot's blocked. Oh, and a nice check out at center ice. Knocks Henderson off his skates. Way back ahead. Here's Becker coming in. Becker moves in a shot. Oh, he scores! Whippler tried to stack the pads. Becker beat him, and it's 1-0 Mahtomedi.
Well, in the pregame, John, we talked a little bit about mistakes and turnovers here in transition. The Zephyrs, great example of that. They get the puck up onto their leading scorer's stick. Jack Becker, and oh my gosh, he just buries one, finds a 5-hole opening and just lets it go. And Zephyrs jump out to a 1-0 lead here. He made a nice move coming across here and kind of brought it back, catching the goalie with those pads a little bit separated there.
22nd goal of the season for Becker, his second here in the section tournament. Time of the goal, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Grace playing it outside the zone. We're going to have a whistle. We're going to have an interference penalty. It looks like it's going to go against Barber.
Oh, that's not a good call. I'd have to look at it again, but that should have gone the other way maybe. Barber's kind of wondering, like, really? Oh, big moment here now. I tell you what, Mahtomedi just scored, and now they're getting a power play. The pressure's on the Eagles of Totino-Grace right now. They got to kill this thing off. They've had good success this year, John. They've killed off at about 80%, which is a good number for them.
Barber for interference at 5:32. Shot and saved by Whippler.
Take a look at this at the top here and see what happened. Can't quite see it. I don't know. Maybe it could have gone both ways, but either way, it doesn't make any difference. They called it on Grace, and they got to kill the penalty here.
Barber going off for interference. The only assist on the Becker goal going to Trevor Dittburner. Walk right in, and a good defensive play breaking it up for Grace was Matt Olson. Mahtomedi's Kellen Campbell had gotten loose. Minute 20 left in the power play for the Zephyrs. Dittburner's pass failed to connect. Here's Vodley shorthanded, walking in. Oh, a great save by Hennon. Back out to the blue line. Another shot. Hennon the save. Puck loose in front. Kept in at the blue line. Grace shorthanded, putting on some pressure, but a huge stop by Thomas Hennon. Robbing Blake Vodley shorthanded. Back come the Zephyrs the other way. In comes Becker carrying it deep. Slid it wide out front. Now they'll gather it up and set it up on the power play out high Comes to Becker, top of the circle, side of the net, out in front. They jam at it, trying to get it past Whippler and can't do so.
Defense went down and took a bad deflection off his legs and went into the goaltender.
Jensen with a shot, rebound, the save made. Cleared around the boards, takes a bad bounce off the glass. That kept it in the zone, and then Mahtomedi trying to keep it in and shot it up out of play.
Well, get a good look at this breakaway here coming in. Now watch that left leg of Hennon here, number 29. Great move, right? Then he comes back this way. Look at that leg, just stayed right down nice. Made a solid stop. And then Mahtomedi coming right back. Now, the puck up there, watch it deflects off the defense and goes right into the goaltender for the Grace Eagles. Wasn't intentional, but tricky moment.
Campbell wins the faceoff. Dittburner across to Taylor with a shot. Sent it wide of the net. Eagles can't quite clear. Pops off the stick of Forcia and out of the zone. And that'll pretty much kill off the rest of the penalty time to Barber. And he's back on the ice as the puck's cleared back down to the Zephyr zone. Taylor played it up to the blue line. Kept in the zone by the Eagles. Turning and firing it to the corner was Hilliard.
Oh.
Around the boards it goes. Back of the net. Zephyrs play it to the left side. Eagles, good job, helped keep it in. Shot. Top made, puck goes to the corner and then back behind the net. And out of the zone onto the stick of Lyons. Ahead and into the zone off of Alex Johnson's stick. Left corner cleared out, and this will be icing on Mahtomedi.
Zephyrs just tired that time. Defense's legs were gone, and they made the right move by getting the ice and getting off the ice. So it's not the same rule in high school. You don't have to stay on the ice. You get to make a change. So that's still an effective weapon when you've got a tired team out there. But the Eagles responding once that penalty was killed and putting some pressure in the Mahtomedi zone.
Kangas and Joey Bry face off here, won by Mahtomedi. Another icing on the Zephyrs.
John, did I just hear that organ?
I'm looking at the organ, and I can't tell if that's actually piped in organ music or if it's the organ that's actually here at this arena. I can't see the player, but it's kind of dark and up in the rafters.
Boy, there's some old-time hockey tradition.
Yeah,
right
it
there in
is.
St. Paul.
Whether or not it's piped in or not, it's real. It's good. Midway point of the opening period. Big shot for the blue line, and Hennon grabbing the shot off the stick of Jason Critch.
You let one rip right between the eyeballs of Hennon there. So you just wind up and just rips it. Hennon with the glove up makes the stop.
Hilliard trying to win the face-off for Grace, does, but it comes back out of the zone. Critch has to skate it down, plays it up to center ice, pops down into the Zephyrs end. Dittburner there for it. Golfs it out towards center ice. Puck played ahead back into the Zephyr zone. Dittburner from the corner looking for the long breakout pass, comes to center. Onto the stick of Bogley and shoots it into the Mahtomedi zone. Dittburner playing it off the boards, whacked out of the end by Heinz. And shot back in by the Eagles. Here's Zach Taylor. Fell down. Turnover. Chance for Grace. And it goes just wide of Hennon and the Mahtomedi net. Puck going to the corner. Taken by Mahtomedi and played out to center. Becker took a check as he came to the blue line. Played around behind the Eagles net and onto Schneider's stick. Out to the blue line, kept in by the Zephyrs. Trying to gather in the puck was Gunderson, couldn't do so. Puck dumped to the corner and played around the inboards by Nauman of Grace. To the blue line, kept in there, shot. Had some traffic in front. And back comes Totino with Kyle Brote. From center, shoots it in as the Eagles make a change. Missed pass in the defensive zone for the Zephyrs. And trying to clear it, they shot it into their own bench, and the faceoff will come back in their end with 6:41 to go in this opening period.
See the chop up here and the puck coming up, and fans have to be awake. That's where the fans get to participate in the hockey game, John. Ducking quickly. Yeah, just think Grace is a little bit off their game right now. They're just kind of on their heels a little bit. They're getting some opportunities, but through the neutral zone, they seem to be a little bit hesitant and not really forging any really organized attack.
Out comes Mahtomedi to center. Poked off the stick of Campbell. Back comes Grace into the zone. Shot and a stick save. Deflects out of play.
We need a little bit more of that. Maybe not taking a shot from the wide angle, but carrying it around behind the net. Let your crew set up in front and maybe get the puck in front and get a crack at it instead of a wide angle shot.
Brian Campbell facing it off here. By winning the draw and shot and glove save. This time Carter Lyons with the shot.
Lyons is really active here on this. He comes down, he grabs it, he just gets a good shot, rips it. Make sure it goes on net too. I like that. When you take a wide angle shot, don't miss the net because it'll end up down in your zone. You hit the net and gave him opportunity for a rebound maybe.
And then playing it to the corner. Johnson back to the blue line. Another save. You know, 24 hours ago, Dan, we were in Minneapolis and we saw some great goaltending by a team that ended up winning the section. Orono defeating Breck. And we're going to see more of the same tonight. Maybe Thomas Hendon wearing the colors. Right now, he's been seeing a lot of puck early.
And he made that tremendous save on that breakaway punch. Just a really nice job compared to Mr. Flackney last night for the Orono Spartans, who did just a tremendous job against Breck.
John Flackney had 46 saves in that Section 2A championship game, a 2-1 win by Orono over the 5-time defending section champions from Breck. Here's Henderson carrying the puck in for the Eagles. Goes down, and they get a penalty call coming up to Mahtomedi. A good stop by Whippler. They're trying to get that extra skater on the ice, and he assured that it didn't go into the net.
It was a shame, though. They had Kai Barber set up in front. He was ready to shoot.
Haven't been touched by Mahtomedi yet, so you'll win on the whistle. Now, as the Zephyrs touch it up, we'll get the penalty call.
It would be an interference or a tripping call in number 16 for the Zephyrs. Zach Taylor, you see it here. It's interference. Once that puck was by, you can maybe touch him for 1 or 2 seconds, but you can't impede him that hard. So the Eagles are getting their first opportunity on the power play. Both these teams in sections have not had success in the power play. They have been shut out.
.11:46, the time of the penalty on Zach Taylor. Shot from the circle, blocked by the defenseman Jensen. Round to the left point. Rich with it there, puts it out in front, they score! They get the tip in front and tie it at 1. Rich with the shot, the tip by Joey Bryan, it's 1-1.
What a beautiful play by Critch, John. That was just a brilliant, instead of trying to slap it through with a lot of velocity, he just dipped it in there and let Bry get a good tip on it. A really smart, nice play, and the Eagles get their first power play in the sections to tie this game against the Zephyrs.
Backhanded shot, Whippler the save.
See the Zephyrs coming right back and getting an attempt. And basically, they just ran the Totino goaltender, Dominic Whipple here, and took a little exception to that. Good hit right here, boy. You don't see good hip checks like that a lot anymore. And all of a sudden, Zephyrs are in the Totino's grill there. Number 20, Reed Matheson.
Face-off win for the Zephyrs. Puck played back behind the net by McQuaid Boo. And taken by Grace, picked off at the blue line briefly. Mahtomedi was offside.
Starting to show a little, shall we say, bad blood. A little extra push, a little extra shoving, a little extra roughing here. Both teams are good size, John. I can see where they would be familiar with the physical part of the game.
Puck pops up and out of play at the blue line. Goal for Joey Bry, his 10th of the season, first of the section tournament. The assist going to Critchin, Alex Johnson at 12:06 of the period. A power play goal. Now out come the Eagles. Looking to go ahead, played into the zone by Henderson. Hennon around the boards, it's played by the Zephyrs. Eagles working it in deep. Right out in front, they score! A great setup. Ben Henderson was left alone, and it's 2-1.
Oh my gosh. Number 17, Critch again. A brilliant play. Coming down from his blue line, blocking the puck, not letting it out of the zone, go behind the net, reverse himself. Watch this pass. Gets through an Henderson stick, and he just buries it back door. What a beautiful play.
Score for the Eagles, number 19, Ben Henderson. Assist for number 17, Jason Fry.
Rich with his second assist at 13:25. The goals in minutes and 19 seconds apart. Now comes Mahtomedi. They get it ahead into the Eagles zone. They're trying for the wraparound and just missing on that try was Campbell. Now it's for Sia. Being tied up in the corner by Matt Olson. Freed up by Slack. And onto the stick now, Vogley of Totino. Taken away from him by Slack. Campbell with it. Trying to circle out front. Campbell turns, dumps it to the corner. Osseo, backhand shot by Campbell, and the save by Whippler.
Take a look at this goal again. I just love this pass, and Henderson came in just bearing it, making sure. But, you know, Critch has had two key smart plays here, John, that have ignited the Eagles and fed people off. I'd love to see a defense when he steps up and ignites his team like that. Well, I'll tell you what, the Zephyrs came right back and put an enormous amount of pressure on Grace. There we go again.
Shot on net by Whippler. Puck is still loose. The backhand, and Whippler sprawled out in front and able to make the stops. Back to the blue line. Poked away by the Eagles there. Vogley couldn't spring himself. Or Tandesky, rather, and it's played down into the Totino-Grace zone where it's taken by Kivinen. Put it out front. Play to the boards and out of the zone. Keeney shot it back ahead and offside.
A face-off win there again. Very key face-off win. They're going right on the net. Number 33, Gunnarsson, right there. And a couple key saves there. By Whippler, the Totino goalie. That time he kind of saved their bacon.
Icing on Totino-Grace.
Boy, Zephyrs are just responding. I mean, if I was a coach, what a great response. They're really putting it on after getting down by a goal here.
Clean face-off win for the Zephyrs. Shot away, the save made. Puck loose in the circle. Clear to the boards, to the blue line. Kept in at the point by Taylor as he played it up the wing. Puck pops into the air and taken by Nauman. Around the boards, getting it for Barber. Takes a check, pushed up the wing. Kept in the zone though by Becker of Mahtomedi, and then banked by Nauman out of danger from in front of the net. Out to center ice. Skated down by Taylor of the Zephyrs. Out to center, gets past Nauman all the way back for the front of the Grace net with under a minute to go in the opening period of play.
Oh, there was a smart play by number 12. Look at that.
Just missing on the long pass. And chased down instead by Mahtomedi.
Nauman had patience to let that play develop. They almost connected on it too.
Osseo poked away from him by Bry, who shoots it down into the Zephyr zone. Tie-up between Jensen and Johnson of Grace. Clear to the blue line and out to center. Shot back in by the Eagles. Jensen slides a pass across. Giveaway at Bry, didn't get much on that shot. Out comes Campbell, trying to head manage for Slack as the period comes to an end. Totino-Grace gets 2 goals, a minute and 19 seconds apart, and they take a 2-1 lead into the first intermission.
Well, it started a little slow, John, but all of a sudden that pace started getting a little better. By the last 10 minutes or so, I'll tell you, or 5 minutes, they were really rolling with full steam. This is going to be a fun 2 periods to watch here to conclude this game.
2-1, Totino-Grace leads Mahtomedi. We're back with more of our coverage of the Section 4A Boys Hockey Championship on 12 Sports after this timeout.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Nice crowd on hand on this Friday night for the Section 4A Championship at Aldrich Arena. Totino-Grace leads Mahtomedi 2-1 after 1 period. Highlights from the first period. Thomas Hinnon, especially early with senior goaltender, making 10 saves in that opening period. Dominic Whippler certainly tested at the other end as well. Comes up with 2 good stops there. And Mahtomedi getting on the board first. They score at the 5:12 mark of the period. The goal for Jack Becker is 22nd of the year. The assist to Trevor Dittburner, and then Grace tying it. Nice tip in front by Joey Bry at 12:06 on the power play, and a 13:25 great assist by Jason Pitch, his 2nd of the game, setting up Ben Henderson for the goal to make it 2-1. 11 saves in the first period for Whippler, the senior goalie for Totino-Grace. If you look at the first period numbers, shots even, scoring chances even, penalties even. The only difference, Grace able to capitalize on their 1 power play opportunity in the game. So it's 2-1. Totino-Grace leads Mahtomedi. We'll take time out, come back with more hockey from Aldrich Arena and Maplewood after this timeout.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth. You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
John Jacobson, Dan Ficken back with you on Channel 12, ready for the second period. Mahtomedi, Totino-Grace, young hockey fans here, ready for more action from the big high school kids. Always fun to see the youth hockey players come out and support their favorite teams.
Watching their heroes. Good hockey game. Got started out a little slow. Both teams looking a little nervous and hesitant, and all of a sudden it just turned into a really, really up and down intense hockey game. I expect the same thing for 2 periods. Grace has got to figure out a way to just shake that Zephyr forecheck, which has been tremendous, John. They can't get out of their zone cleanly. That's been probably one of the big differences in the game.
Face-off win for Jack Becker and Mahtomedi. Backhanded by Trevor Dipburner in to the bench, and Waits face-off will come back at center. And we'll do it again. Face-off drawn all the way back toward goalie Thomas Hennon. Up to the blue line, brought out of the zone by Heinz, played by Barber on his right wing. Big shot from the circle, and Hennon, a glove save on Ben Henderson.
Ben Henderson with a nice pass from Kai Barber. Just got an open angle and took a good hard shot. I don't know if that was going to miss the net or nailed up for the upper right-hand corner, but good shot anyway.
Campbell and Bryan on the face-off. Campbell after it. Got it back behind his net. Neal setting up there. Pass comes back out to Campbell out front. Trying to spring it ahead, and the shot. Whippler making the save on Truman Slack.
Good move here. Got the inside defense. That last little whack on the stick took him off the Critch, preventing that goal with just a little bit of a play. But boy, they broke number 11 loose here pretty well. Slack as he came in on the goalie.
Face-off win for the Zeppers. That one either caught the pad or the outside pipe on the shot. Here's a chance. Oh, and a shot going high, deflected out of play on Tandesky's shot.
Tandesky always dangerous coming down there, second leading scorer in the team this year. Gets a good look at the upper corner. And I think this is the goal he touched a little bit to deflect it, so.
Back behind the Mahtomedi net, controlled by Vogley, trying to get it out to the blue line, does now to Nauman. Vogley will dump it back in. On the boards it goes. Jason Shirk going after it for Grace and taken back by the Zephyrs. Poked out to center ice. And skated down by Keeney. Excuse me, I think that Buttermore has got the play up to center. Shot back ahead to the line. Taken by Hilliard. Off on the right, shot whistled wide of the net. behind the goal. Barber back out to the blue line. Backhanded in by Lyons to the corner. Comes to Henderson. Dumping it back behind the net. Hilliard trying to go after it. That's a check of Keeney. Oh, a penalty. The stick came up a little high. Yeah, we're going to get a high sticking call here on Brandon Hilliard.
The Zephyrs going on their second power play. They couldn't connect on the first one, and they still haven't scored one in the section set. We'll take a good look at it here. You see that stick get up really high here just before we took him down on the board. So
Hilliard for high sticking at 2:12 of the second period. Face-off win for the Zephyrs. Left point is Neal. Slides it across for Jensen. Into the circle. Right out in front they score. Wow, that was worked very well and quickly, and the Zephyrs have tied it up on Andrew Kangas' goal. That's textbook, Dan.
Tick, tack, toe, toe. We'll add an extra toe just to make it look good, but what a beautiful play. That's how to get your power play ignited right there, baby. Come in on the back door. 3 nice passes as they moved the puck around and spread out the box there and got it open and cashed in to tie the game.
Played down into the Zephyr zone. Whistle and they'll bring it back. For Kanga, just his 3rd goal of the season. A big one on the power play to tie it up.
It's important too, John, that it happened early on in this period here too. Trying to even things out. It's a heck of a lot easier to play tied than from being down by a goal or two.
Puck in the Eagles zone. Controlled by the Zephyrs to the blue line. Shot saved by Whippler. Clear to the blue line and back they come. Tandeschi sprung loose on the left side, trying to carry deep and played back nicely defensively by Alex Jensen. Out in front and whistled high and wide by Alex Johnson. Had a great opportunity from the slot. Back come the Zephyrs. Forcia played away from him by Swan. Clear to the blue line, gets past Neal, race for the puck and getting back there first with Keeney for the Zephyrs. Takes a check into the boards from Bry. Neal with it. Mike Neal had the slack. Now it's Campbell. Carries deep. Campbell shot it high and up and out of play.
Well, Zephyrs back on the counterattack. But boy, I tell you, Thomas Henning came out of that net, John. That'll give a Coach White here real quick. Didn't quite know what to do. Fortunately, the Zephyrs defense was there to pick up that puck on the loose one there on the race and did a nice job of turning it around. And the Zephyrs, this forecheck they got going, John, is really doing a great job. Totino is continuously thought was going to have a tough time breaking out of their zone. And it's going to cost them one of these times.
Shot down to the Zephyrs' end. Check back behind the net. Goes to the left corner. Schneider back out to the blue line. Left point shot, and Hennon makes the stop on Critch.
Good setup here, got it up to the point, moved it over to his partner with a good move, and Critch just rips one. And almost a tip attempt in front there by lead number 7, Bry again. Or Gray coming across looking for his 2nd goal of the night. A good play by Thomas Hennon. Stayed steady, let the puck come to him, no rebound.
Off the face-off, Zephyrs controlled. It's back behind their net. Trying to spring a pass out to center. Shot into the Eagles zone. Whippler steered to the corner. Big shot from the blue line. Blocked. Back come the Eagles out. Henderson, right side. Comes to the net. Hennon the stop on it. And Little push after the whistle on Barber. We'll get a face-off with 12:36 remaining in the second period of a 2-2 hockey game.
Good rush, another play, but Cannon again up to it. Let the puck come in, settled it down. Kai Barber coming in, trying to disrupt him, and taking a little exception to that move is Mr. Hennon.
From the blue line, played up to center to Heinz. Down into the Grace zone, Heinz in the corner. Back out to the blue line, pops off of Dittberner's stick. Shot from center by Taylor. And down into the zone. Zephyrs looking for a chance in front. Oh, and just off a stick, and then turning and firing wide was Maralt. Becker back out to the point. Comes to Dittberner. Walked away and knocked out of the zone. Dittberner got it back down to the Eagles' end as the Zephyrs make a change. Comes ahead. Here's Tandeschi carrying deep. Tandeschi cutting to the net. And Hennon makes the save on him. From center, shot back in.
Ooh,
right out in front. Check ahead and played up till center ice. And shot down into the Mahtomedi zone. Play down to the corner. We're going to get a penalty coming up here on the Eagles, and the check laid on by Jason Shirk. And the Mahtomedi player is down.
Schneider going in for the Eagles. We saw a couple hits last night.
Excuse me, it's Schneider, yep.
Where the players were down. Fortunately, they came back out, but we'll take a look at that hit again. Elbow a little high there on the back of the head, and I'm just wondering maybe the head got slammed into the boards. We may see a little bit more in the 2-minute penalty here, John. I think the ref is going to make the call right now as to how long this is going to be. This could end up being a 5-minute major, and I don't know if it's disqualification, but if it was intentional, it looked like it, they could call that too. And they just did.
As they opened up the box, and they're going to have, that's going to be it for Andrew Schneider tonight. They opened up the penalty box and the end boards. Game disqualification on Schneider. They're checking from behind.
Or it might be a double. No, yeah, you're right. They're getting him out. He's going to be done. Yep. It'll be a 5-minute major with a game disqualification. Oh, boy. In a section championship game here. If we look at the hit, you've got to gauge intent here now. Elbow comes in high. He's seeing number all the way. I really can't argue with that call, John. It looked pretty bad in the pen. He's still down.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. More action from the section championship in a moment.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Well, it's good to see Timothy Kivinen back up on his skates, helped to the bench by his teammates, but able to sit up after being down for a couple minutes and help to the bench. So Andrew Schneider going off 5-minute checking from behind and a game disqualification. And Dan, a potential game changer here. Mahtomedi can score as many goals as they can in the 5 minutes. That major does not expire with a power play goal.
A couple of years ago, we saw a major made a big difference in the section final between Maple Grove and Blaine. I think the Crimson scored 4 goals in that stretch of 5 minutes and just buried Blaine, and they could never recover from it. So this could be a key call here.
We'll see what the Zephyrs can do in a tie game here. Still early in the second period. Lay down in the Eagles zone. The test for the Eagles penalty killers for 5 minutes. And they break one free and get the puck back down. Hennon will leave the puck for Mike Neal. Now back for it comes Alex Jensen. Plays it ahead for Jack Becker. Pops in the air at center. Shot back in to the Mahtomedi zone.
Really important to keep your penalty killers fresh here too. This is going to be a long penalty kill. They should switch it out as often as they can here.
Here's Forcia. Carries the puck deep for Mahtomedi. Back behind the net it goes to Kangas. Back out to the blue line. Top of the circle. Shot. Deflects. Goes to the boards. From the circle. Back out high. The Zephyrs keep the puck in the zone. Jensen. Right out in front. And a whistle. I'm not sure what the whistle was for as Neal was getting ready to tee up the puck.
There was a man in the crease. Yep, coming outside the zone here, just outside the line there. So the man in the crease call. Boy, that was, Grace is happy to see that call. That changed the whole tenor of the thing. Like you said, they really tee it up.
Shot back into the Eagles' end. Up to the corner and skated out by Grace. Now a chance for them. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Henderson in with a shot. Misses it wide of Hennon in the Zephyrs net. Played back behind the goal. Henderson gets it up again. Playing it off for Barber. Barber with the puck off for Henderson. Left circle. He'll play it all the way back. Their own end. The Eagles will kill off some more of that 5 minutes and shoot it down into the Mahtomedi end.
Nice.
Barber winds up a shot and fired it wide. Comes back to Nauman at his blue line. He'll shoot it back down to the Zephyr zone. 2:50 to go in the 5-minute major. From center ice, swept to the blue line and down into the Totino-Grace zone. Campbell now moving in is Slack. Feeds a pass off, comes back out to Becker at the point. For Ditburner, back to Becker, high slot. Deflected off the defenseman. Brote that was playing up high, the forward for Grace. And helped get the puck out of the zone, then Brote shooting it down into the Eagles' end. Or Zephyrs' end, where it's skated back by Becker. He'll stop back behind his net and start the play out again. Onto his left to Moralt, picked off. Swan comes all the way to the net. Hennon had to be ready for that. Good forecheck and penalty kill here for Totino-Grace.
Yes,
They're inside of 2 minutes. Ditburner. And he hit Becker with the pass at center and missed it, and it's icing.
Boy, nice job by the Eagles here. I'll tell you what, they can gain some real momentum off of this. If they can kill this off, they've done a tremendous job. I'm not even sure. I don't even think the Zephyrs got a shot on goal so far in this penalty or power play that they've had. Grace has really stepped up to the plate here. And another opportunity, just a great face-off win and a shot that I'm sure you don't expect their team killing a penalty, but they're not backing off.
Becker shooting it down into the Totino-Grace zone for Mahtomedi. Picked up and cleared out again by the Eagles. Henderson with the clear down the ice. 7 minutes to go in the second period. 1:15 left in the power play for Mahtomedi. Up comes Neal. Down the left wing. Drop pass. Into the circle. Backhanded shot. Didn't come all the way through off Moralt's stick. Dittburner from the blue line save. And a big pad save. And then the puck cleared away off the stick of Heinz and out of the zone. Long pass ahead, just outside the blue line onto Slack's stick. Slack will carry deep. Around the corner. Back out to the point. Hops off the stick of Heinz. Behind the net. Slack to the corner. Put it out front. And a trickle pass. Whippler and the Grace goal. To the left circle. Big shot. Hennon the save. On the shot from Campbell. And a whistle as the referee lost sight of the puck, and the net perhaps came off as well, and some pushing and shoving afterwards.
Just a tremendous effort there, coming across, shooting from the blue line and cutting across, and almost went in the net. It missed the far post just by a hair, but that would have been just an odd angle goal here. And then another big shot out front that Whipple makes a save on, and then of course we get a little Donnybrook in front there. Stakes are high, tempers are flying a little bit. 22 seconds left on this major, John. I'll tell you, the Eagles have really stepped up and shown some fortitude in this tremendous penalty kill that they've had.
From the slot, riffing on the shot was Forcia. Battles along the boards for it. Dittburner from the blue line. Shot, puck is loose in front, cleared to the boards by Swan and out of the zone. In comes Campbell into the zone. Poked off his stick. Totino-Grace is back at full strength. Puck popped out in front. Deflects off the stick into the corner. And out of the zone. Now the Eagles with a chance to finally set up at full strength. Lions got it into the zone. Pokes it back behind the net. Zephyrs trying to play it off the back of their cage. And Ken, it's up on the meshing, and it brings the whistle.
Wow. The coaching staff on the Totino-Grace bench just had a collective sigh of relief here. But, John, what a tremendous effort. There was only about a 35-second flurry there near the end of that power play where the Zephyrs really put some pressure on. Otherwise, Totino just really did a great job of killing that penalty. And we'll see what kind of momentum they can gather off that now.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Mahtomedi with the only goal of the period is tied it at 2. Zephyrs with the puck. Keeney with the pass. Out they come. Seidel's pass ahead to Boo. Boo going to the corner. Took a check there. Seidel behind the net. Back out. Left point. Dump to the corner. Boo goes after it. Takes a hard check there. Played by Vogley. Vogley springs himself free, pushes it to the blue line. It would have been offside, so the Zephyrs have to clear, and that gives the Eagles a chance to shoot it back to the Mahtomedi end. Breakout pass ahead to Moralt. Came down to Critch of Totino-Grace. Around the boards out to center. Ahead outside the zone, and they brought in momentarily offside. The Eagles with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the second.
There's got to be just an element of frustration here for the Zephyrs here, having that opportunity, coming away with nothing on it.
Pass picked off in front, and Whippler's got to make the stop on Jack Becker. That turnover for the Eagles in their own end.
Yeah, look who got the puck. The #1 scorer for the Zephyrs, who scored the first goal of the game here. The kid's a sniper. Do not give the puck up to him if you don't want him to score on you.
It's off win for the Zephyrs. A tip in front. They score. Tanner Maralt, number 14, and it's 3-2 Mahtomedi.
Beautiful setup. Won a face-off, got the puck back to the point. Just a nice, easy, soft shot, and then bang. Tanner Maralt standing there, just changed direction here. You can see it come through, and just comes off the heel of the stick, and I don't know if it went between the wickets, I think. But what was the goalie for the Totino-Grace Eagles, and the Zephyrs go back out in front. 3-2. Now it's Totino-Grace's turn to respond here. Did a tremendous job killing a penalty, but give one up here. They got to fight back and answer this call.
Maralt's 14th goal of the season, second in the section tournament. To make it 3-2 Zephyrs, their second lead of the game.
Scoring for the Zephyrs, number 14, Tanner Maralt.
Puck kept in by Tandowski at the Zephyr line. Put out in front, number to dance for the Eagles. Very deep out in front. Cleared back to the blue line. Shot away, and Whippler saw this one cleanly. Makes the save on Taylor's shot.
Totino-Grace getting a little sloppy in their own zone. Got a good rush off, but couldn't control the puck once it got out of the hands. They ended up back up on the point. Zephyrs come back with a quick shot here. It's not necessarily the velocity, it's how quick you get it out that you can catch a goalie by surprise.
Eagles gain control. Pass missed Bry. Eagles trying to hold the zone. Now it's on the stick of Seidel. Play up to center, and Vogley has it. Drops it back. Played quickly ahead by the Eagles as Brote touched it into the Zephyr zone. Around the boards, Mahtomedi getting it out. Here's a loose puck gathered in by Boo. Boo comes in with a shot, deflects off of Critch's stick and up and out of play.
Good recovery by the Eagles here, but just a turnover here, and Boo coming down is going to pick it up. But defense switched off nice, switched sides, partners talking to each other, deflected the shot, took the threat out of it.
Play goes down into the Mahtomedi zone. Play back behind the Zephyrs net where Neal takes it. Head race for the puck. Here's Jack Becker from Mahtomedi. Lost it briefly. His pass back also missed the mark. Alex Jensen, though, keeps it in the zone. Eagles playing it up the boards. It's out of play. Stops the clock with 2:04 to go in the second.
You know, John, I've been pretty impressed with the Zephyrs defense. They've been pretty smooth down low, covering their net well, but breaking out so well. They've shown some patience, letting their wingers get open and free and not panicking. They've done a good job of moving the puck out. I think they've done a lot better job than Grace has.
Way down to the Eagles' end with under 2 minutes to go. Turnover. Oh, and a shot goes high over off the stick of Forcia. Eagles a few times, Dan, seem like they've had the puck. And there's another one turned over. The rebound, they score. Buried by Forcia. Boy, I was about to say, it looked like a few times here they've had the puck headed out of their zone. They give it up, and this time it cost them.
We've seen a bunch of turnovers in their own zone that Totino defense is not looking steady. They're playing a little scared, a little tight on their sticks, and here we go, giving it up right at the wrong spot, and the Zephyrs jumping right on it to take a 4-2 lead. We talked in pregame about what's the difference. Whoever makes the fewest mistakes will win this game, and Grace has coughed it up a couple times in dangerous position. The Zephyrs have taken advantage of it.
For Joe Forcia, his second German goal, 14th goal overall on the season. Excuse me, 13th of the season to make it 4-2. In comes Becker deep.
Grace got away with one there. Becker was coming in. He did get tripped up, but they didn't call it.
A minute to go now in the second. And out comes Barber for Totino-Grace. Guy Barber to the Mahtomedi line. Taken away by Jensen of Mahtomedi. Dumps it out to center. And up ahead to the line. Shot. And it goes high off of Henderson's stick. Falling in. They kind of crashed in it with Swan. Back come the Zephyrs. And Mahtomedi is offside. Fry able to take Forcia off the puck at the blue line, and he might have gotten free for another goal. Mahtomedi fans wanted a penalty. An offside to call with 21 seconds remaining.
Mahtomedi are bringing out their oh, they aren't going to put the top line out there.
Well, I think they wanted to, but
yeah. Well, they're not the home team. They don't get fast change.
Puck tipped, so it's not icing on Grace. 15 seconds to go in the period. Mogley battling for it, gains control of the puck, gets it back out to the blue line. Shot away from there, and it's tipped wide. And the shot from the point by Critch, put out in front. Oh, and Hennon comes up with a save as time expires in the period. And a huge second period for Mahtomedi. The Zephyrs put 3 on the board. And they'll go to the second period intermission with now a 4-2 lead. We'll take time out. We'll come back and look at some of that. You're watching our continuing coverage of the Section 4A Boys Hockey Championship on Channel 12.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown! Turned a 2-1 first period deficit into a 4-2 lead after 2. Highlights from that second period. Totino-Grace with some scoring chances, but not able to put anything that period past number 29, Thomas Hennon. Great work on the power play early here for the Mahtomedi. The goal for Andrew Kangas that tied it at 2. Another chance for Grace. Tandeschi unable to beat Hennon. Then there was the 5-minute major to Schneider. Best chances actually came shorthanded for Totino-Grace, and Mahtomedi goes back ahead on the goal and the tip in by Tanner Baralt off of Mike Neal's shot, and the backhander here. Kellen Campbell, the rebound by Joe Forcia, put away to make it 4-2. There's our numbers through 2 periods. 25-20 now the shots on goal in favor of the Zephyrs. A 13-8 margin for Mahtomedi in that period. Also the edge now in scoring chances. And each team with a power play goal on the night. 1 period to go in the Section 4A championships. Mahtomedi 4, Totino-Grace 2. We're back with more hockey from Aldrich Arena after this timeout.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
It's the richest and the most powerful country.
Seed Totino-Grace in the white, needing a rally, and a big one here in the third period, trailing Mahtomedi and Ficken 4-2 after 2 periods.
Boy, and after Totino not killed out that 5-minute major, you kind of thought, oh boy, here we go. And you know, John, they might have got tired, but all of a sudden, those turnovers that they've had inside their own zone throughout most of the game really came back and cost them big time. Gave up 3 big goals, 1 on a power play. So they're going to have to really fight back and rally back and get some shots on goal. And they're going to have to shoot it from every angle. Don't make it pretty. Get some shots on goal.
Mahtomedi playing it to the Totino-Grace line. Nauman across for Olsen up to center past Hilliard. Barber trying to skate after it, ran into the referee and taken by Neal of Mahtomedi, and the Zephyrs are out to center ice. Becker banking in to the Eagles' end. Whippler leaving it back behind the net. Becker after it in the corner, dumping it back behind the net. Olsen there for Grace. Plays it up. Barber flipping it up, trying to get it up to center, and played it up too high and up in the rafters. And puck comes down. Aldrich Arena in Maplewood, Dan, a venerable old arena here on the east side, and very likely the site next year for the Section 5 AA tournament, which we cover on Channel 12, which has, of course, been held for years, the semis and finals at the State Fair Coliseum. But the end of high school hockey there tonight, the last night of hockey at the Coliseum. They're not going to have ice in there anymore, and so they need a new home, 5 AA and 3 AA, and it's expected, although not official yet, that the 5 AA could very well move to this arena. Turning and shooting, missing the net.
Well, I wouldn't be unhappy to trade one tradition to another tradition. This arena is an icon of St. Paul hockey, and I've seen some tremendous games here, being the home of the Hill Murray Pioneers, but been a lot of good section games in here over the years.
Good sight lines for the fans. Most importantly for us, Dan, of course.
Of course. Well, we're more important, obviously. But, yeah, great sight lines here and good capacity. It's really rocking in here now. It's a big crowd in here. I can imagine they bring that section over here. It's going to get nuts in this place. And you always like that, boy. There's an element of noise, crowd noise makes everything exciting.
Puck shot up high off the glass down into the Eagles zone. Puck came free in front of the Grace net. Another turnover, and unable to do anything with it was Forcia this time. And played out by Tandeschi on the Lions stick. Lions now trying to squeeze down the left wing for the Eagles. Comes back out of the zone, then shot in by Swan. Slack for Mahtomedi. Diagonal pass onto the Forcia stick, but then he's checked off the play. Critch has it for Totino, up to center, knocked down by Dittburner. And up over the glass now to play. We haven't done a section game here in a number of years, Dan, but I remember years ago before you were doing games with us, I remember when Brooklyn Center High School had hockey. And kind of one of their last years, they had a great run in the section tournament. They were a lower seeded team. They took out the #1 seed Simile on this rink about 17 years ago in the semifinals. 3 overtimes, they win it. on a goal by Deke Finley.
Oh my gosh.
His dad was a coach. Long pass here missing. It's icing on the Eagles. They went on to lose in the section final, actually, to Mahtomedi, but it was kind of the last great run for Centaur hockey.
Boy, it's almost hard to remember Centaur hockey.
Yeah.
Much less a game like that, yeah. There's been some tremendous White Bear Lake Hill Murray games sitting on this ring too, boy, I'll tell you. Boy, you know, John Grace just cannot solve this forecheck by Mahtomedi.
Zephyrs have been outstanding tonight. And we talked to Jeff Polschel before the game. He said, you know, really since first of the year, we've played very good hockey. And both of these teams with 10 losses coming in, but Zephyrs, what, 8-1 in their last 9 coming into this one. They're playing it very well down the stretch.
Well, and Hennon has been a good thing for them too. All of a sudden he's gotten hot here last part of the season. He started out a little rough, but boy, I'll tell you something, he has stepped up to his game tonight.
Barber brought it in. Henderson able to keep himself onside despite the defenseman trying to drag him in offside. Tie up in the corner. Eagles trying to free it up, get themselves a scoring chance down on the Zephyrs end. Out they come. Pass missing, Slack stick, and shot back by Critch down into the Mahtomedi zone.
Well, it's not too soon for the Eagle defense now to start crowding that blue line and pinching in. They may give up some 2-on-1s, but they're going to have to do something. They're down 2 goals, and they're not getting a whole lot of scoring opportunities. They got to start creating some.
Eagles gain control of the puck at center, knocked away from Tandeschi. Shot into the zone by Alex Johnson. Dip burner now for Mahtomedi. Start out the break. Touched near center by Campbell, but he is in his side of the center red line, and it's icing on Mahtomedi.
Well, one thing the Zephyrs have done tremendously well tonight too, John, is support each other. You know, we're not looking at 2 teams with a lot of skill or tremendous hockey players, so to speak, that are known. But they back each other up. If one guy misses the puck, another guy's there to back up and support him. And they just keep coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. And they're just disrupting the game of Totino-Grace here.
Zephyrs playing it back behind their net. Zach Taylor.
Wow.
Now comes out to the blue line. Just missed off the stick of Seidel. Down into the Grace end. Wilson feeding it up for Broach and out of the zone to center. Rye trying to come in right side, but Goodburner's got the puck. Bogley can't keep it in. It's out to center. Bogley will shoot it back in. Kennan playing it around the boards. And out of the zone, Henderson onto the stick of Kangas, who had the power play goal that put Mahtomedi, or tied it up rather, in the second period. And we got 2 more goals that put them in the lead right now at 4-2. No scoring here yet in the first 5 minutes of the third. Now here's Heinz whistling his shot, and the save by Whippler.
Whippler kind of lost that one. You can see the quick shot, snapshot come off, and Whippler's, yeah, he did have it in his glove. I'm sorry, he wasn't confused. He just picked it off there, and of course, the Zephyr right in his grill again.
Becker and Hilliard on the face-off. Play broken up. Here's Henderson trying to get a chance. Gets the puck free. A shot away, and save made by Hennon. Ben Henderson getting an opportunity there for Grace. Shot by Swan back to the Zephyrs end. Skated down by Alex Jensen. Pass up to center. Jensen gets upended. Shot down by Heinz into the Grace zone. Critch trying to avoid a check from Becker, who takes the puck away. Gets it off to Slack behind the net. Slack now from the corner. Dumps it back behind the net. Forcia trying to get there. He's there with Critch. Puck freed up. Centering pass by Forcia, and Swan plays it away for Grace. Carter Lyons back behind his net. Critch missed on the pass and fired in by Mahtomedi into the Eagles zone, where Swan takes it, plays it up to center, down to the Zephyr blue line. Taylor up ahead. At center for Sia. And shot it down into the Eagles end. 10:40 to play in the third period. Forechecking is Forcia, number 7, knocking the puck down. Campbell is there as well. Puck squirts free to the boards. And skated up by Totino-Grace is Tandeschi at center. Trying to squeeze in on the right side. Puck loose and cleared by Mahtomedi. Now ahead. A chance for Matheson coming in deep. Drop pass, and Boo missed the net completely. Boo's centering pass. Broken up by the Eagles by Bogley. Now it's Bogley with the puck. Beats the pass, offers Tandeschi. Player fell down for Grace, or for Mahtomedi, but then Tandeschi falls down. Puck freed up at center. Shot down into the Zephyr zone. And banked out to the blue line. Shot away. Big save made by Hennon. Puck cleared out of the zone by Becker.
Been good cover-up defense by the Zephyr D, not allowing that rebound to cause another.
Referee impeding the way for the Eagles forward, Bry. Played it into the corner. The Eagles hold the zone. Here's Bry with it. Stops. Along the wall at the circle. Shot deflected to the corner onto the stick of Broat. Back to Hilliard now in the corner. Behind the net, Bry after it along with Becker of Mahtomedi. On the boards, Heinz. Out to center. And played ahead past Hilliard. Hilliard will bring it in. Left side, shot wide of the net. Puck came off the end boards, and they score. And it's a 4-3 game. Puck stuffed in by Kai Barber, and it's a 1-goal game.
Well, Barber stepping up, continuing his excellence in the sections. Done a great job. Took a weird Carome off the boards here. You could see it come in, and Barber was the first one to it. Just kept jamming. I think the second time he jammed it, it went in behind Hennon. But look at that weird bounce, and he lost it, brought it back, and it got it inside the post there before the leg could get in there to close it off. And Grace gets kind of a break there, John, because frankly, they weren't generating a whole lot of nothing. I mean, the Zephyr defense was really packing them to the side, not letting them get in front. Kind of a fluke play, but now this suddenly changes again, so we'll see what Grace does with this.
Barber's 4th goal of the section tournament, 19th of the season. At 8:18 of the third, makes it 4-3.
Well, that's what you expect your seniors to do, is when you're down, pick you up, and he stepped up to the plate and got him to within one shot to tie this game.
Hilliard getting the lone assist as the shot out high, went high. Eagles able to get it out to center, and they're offside.
Boy, you really don't want to see an offside there. They had a good opportunity there with a good rush. All 3 guys coming. Just couldn't get in control of the puck. It just bounced on him quite a bit.
They win the face-off. Nauman dumps it in. Puck around the boards. Comes to Forcia. Shot at the blue line. Backhand shots in front. And Hennon makes the save. Knocked down by Nauman. And then cleared out by Mahtomedi. They shoot it down to the Eagles zone. Icing on the Zephyrs.
Tremendous block by the Zephyr D here. Good shot. Coming through here. Hennon on top of it. It'll go back out. Now watch. It'll get stopped. Great block shot right there. Didn't get through to the net. Good opportunity for the Eagles here.
Hilliard and Becker on the faceoff. They both go to the corner after the puck. Hilliard comes up with a backhander in front. Is dangerous. Heinz clears it out for Mahtomedi. Back comes Critchford for the Eagles. Lays it up the left wing. Eagles can't clear the zone. Kept in by Becker. Back behind the net goes Brennan Swan. Swan around the boards. Comes out top of the circle. Shot blocked by Swan. He'll bank it out to center. Henderson takes a big check on the boards by Keeney. But that's going to bring a whistle and a penalty on Mahtomedi.
Big hit. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, got the elbow up into the grill. There you see it sticking right up there. Tough call in a critical moment here. Totino starting to turn this thing around, and now they get another break. This is just some good effort and making some transition plays, forcing Mahtomedi to get some physicalness and maybe a little frustration. That elbow went high, so we'll see what the Eagles can do with this.
Elbowing at 9:42, just the second penalty of the game against Mahtomedi. The first one resulted in a Grace power play goal back in the first period. Out they come into the Zephyr zone. They look to set up. Puck dumped in the corner. Controlled now by the Eagles. Comes out to Critch. Right circle. Back out. Lions with a shot. They go for the tip in front. Tandeschi skates it down. Gets it back out. Lions for Tandeschi. Back for Carter Lyons. Put out in front. They look for the tip again, and it goes just wide. Back to Lyons, side of the net. Oh, and big save by Hennon as he makes a huge stop on Alex Johnson. Rink-wide pass. Tandeschi in alone. He shoots. Oh, and Hennon comes up huge. And then Slack clears the puck down the length of the ice.
Oh, and Mahtomedi is going to get another penalty. Number 6, elbowing. One of the captains is going in. Trevor Dipburner, he is not happy. Oh my. But John, how about Hennon here? What a set of saves here. Wow. Comes across. Look at the move coming in. Just beautifully saved, controlled, didn't panic. Boy, he's been a big difference tonight, boy, I'll tell you. And he's going to continue to get tested with 57 seconds of a 5-on-3 now for the Grace Eagles.
What a huge part of the game this is now. The Eagles trailing by 1 with a 2-man advantage for nearly a minute. Back out, left point, circle. Another pass past Henderson. He's got to gather it in at the boards. Now 35 seconds left in the 5-on-3. You don't want to take too many times. Oh, and then there's a shot by Barber. Rings off the post. Left circle. Back off. Barber trying to tee it up. Lost it off his stick. And it's cleared out of the zone. Comes to Olsen. Plays it back ahead. There's 13 seconds now left in the 5-on-3 and cleared, but not out. A great job by Hilliard, but played by a high stick. And that'll bring a whistle. The face-off back in the Grace zone with just 8 seconds left in the 5-on-3.
That young man has played a tremendous hockey game tonight for his team. This game could easily be tied up with Grace ahead by 2 goals here. He's made some great saves.
Brian Campbell to face it off. Face off. One right back. And Whippler to make the save. Grace with a rush. They'll have to hurry with the 5-on-3. Now it's 5-on-4 in on net. And the save by Hennon. They turn and shoot. That hit traffic in front. Lions gets it across to Critch. Critch, top of the circle, back from Lyons, walking in with a shot, and it deflects Clyde Hennon, love to say it. I didn't see where the puck went. It must be in Hennon's glove. I thought it had gone wide. And he makes the stop with 46 seconds left in the power play.
Yeah, everybody's watching it go to the top. I think Hennon just had it. I think he got tipped off the block by the defenseman there. Grace still with 46 seconds now of a power play, one-man power play, one-man advantage.
Becker and Bry to face it off. Won by the Zephyrs, and they clear it down the length of the ice. Right in on Whippler. They'll leave it for Critch. Under 5 minutes to go in the third period. Zephyrs with a one-goal lead, trying to kill off the final 30 seconds of this power play for Grace. Lions, left point, puck goes to the corner. Played back out, Lions a shot, they score! And we're tied at 4.
Well, John, you think Lions and Critch have played a hell of a game tonight for the Eagles? Well, they're back. As Jed Clampett would say, whoo, doggies.
4-4 with 4:32 to go. Look at it again.
It looked like a straight shot through. I don't think it was tipped. I just think the two Totino-Grace guys inside of the net distracted Hannon a little bit, but boy, oh boy, what a comeback.
For Lions, the goal goes to him. It's his 4th of the season. Comes at 12:28 of the third period in the section final to tie the game at 4.
You think it'd be fair to say the next goal is a critical one?
Tandesky getting the lone assist on the Lions' goal. Played out to center ice, touched into the zone. Race for it, no icing. Looks like Grace had perhaps touched it.
Yeah.
Their side of center red line. I thought one official had even signaled that, but then it's called icing. Face-off will come back in the Eagles zone.
Zephyrs trying to make a change and not allowed to. They don't get the last change. Grace making theirs because they have the option of being the home team. Now, John, Grace has really got to tighten up their defense here. They've got to play smart because they have not fared well 5-on-5 against the Zephyrs. They've really got to buckle down now.
Puck loose in the circle and then taken away by Lions. Carter Lyons then losing it at center to Campbell. Played back by Forcia. Slack put on in front. The puck is loose in front of Whippler and then cleared away. Another shot from out high and cleared away again by the Eagles. And Johnson plays it out to center. Tandesky trying to pinch his way in on the left side. Cut off from the puck. Neal after it for Mahtomedi, and Zephyrs come out. This is Alex Jensen at center. To the line, poked off his stick by Hilliard. They both go down at the boards. Played back behind the Grace net with 3:05 to go in the third period. Long pass, missing for Grace. It's icing on the Eagles.
You see a good opportunity here just in front. Look at this clear there. It was wide open. And then throw it away, give it back to the D. And another opportunity. Didn't quite get to Whippler there, but presentation was there. This is going to be a situation where Whippler might have to make the saves of the game that we've seen out of Hennon so far tonight.
Shot deflects wide of the Eagles' net. Grace controlling, chipping it up the wall, kept in by Maralt. Now it pops out of the zone. And Hilliard trying to spring Barber ahead. Kai Barber deep. Bumped off the puck and lost it. Good takeaway by Zach Taylor. Now gets it to Dittburner. Turnover for the Zephyrs briefly in their own end. Dittburner gathers it back in for Heinz. Left side, here's Moralt. Stops at the line, misfired on his pass. And the Eagles clear it out to center. Barber almost got it past Dittburner, but couldn't. From center ice, shot in by the Eagles with 2:09 to play in the third period. Pass picked off at center by Bry. Dittburner gets it back, plays it out to center for Mahtomedi. Ahead and dumped into the zone by Bry. Taylor along the boards. And they can't get it out of the zone. Here's a chance for Grace. Broke with a shot and Hennon the save. Left circle. Vogley circling out in front. Couldn't get a shot away in Forcia. Breakout pass to Slack. Down the left side. Drop pass. A shot by Campbell and Whipple the huge stop. And then cleared out of the zone by the Eagles with 1:20 to go in the third period. Play back into the Grace zone. Kivinen up to center, brought in left side, all the way to the net. Went Tandesky and Hennon the save. Heinz, a big shot and a save by Hennon. Jason Critch gets off a big shot from out high. And Thomas Hennon makes the save with 1:02 to go. Look at the chances here. Campbell at one end. And then a moment ago, a chance from in front for Tandesky.
Watch the move by Lyons here. Look at that. Just took the guy right out of his socks and just ripped one. And Hennon just sitting there cool as a cucumber in the middle of February. Unbelievable.
Totino-Grace will take timeout with 61 seconds to play.
Boy, we have
two seeds in this section, Dan, have advanced like we saw last night in 2A, and here's how they got here. Totino-Grace taking care of St. Paul Como Park in the quarterfinals, while Mahtomedi beat Achiever Academy, and then in the semis, Totino-Grace over South St. Paul, and Mahtomedi needing overtime to beat St. Paul Academy.
Well, it's obvious the two best teams in the section are here, and they have put on a tremendous show. Back and forth, back and forth. Been treated at 2 consecutive nights of some really, really excellent section final hockey here. Okay, here we are. Pre-game talk. The next team that makes a mistake, it's going to cost them.
Team coming off 1-goal wins in the semifinals. Play comes out to center. Chance for Mahtomedi for Heinz with a shot. A Whippler to save. Oh, and the rebound. Puck still loose. Becker backhands it toward the front of the net. Heinz trying to grab at it. And it's underneath of Whippler. And a face-off with 45 seconds left.
Oh, look at this flurry. My gosh, Shepard's coming right at whack at it, whack at it. Even got a leg in there. And Whippler just hanging tight, keeping the wall up front. Both goalies, John, have just played a good game tonight. Unbelievable.
Becker and Hilliard on the face-off. Won by the Eagles. They play it out to center. Barber trying to chop it past Jensen, and it puck flips up into the penalty box. Face off at center ice with 37.9 seconds remaining in regulation.
I think there's a little tension in the air here on both benches. I'm wondering who's going to get the sticks the tightest here.
Lyons and Campbell on the face-off. Mahtomedi trying to carry it in. Campbell and puck up high, and Whippler decides to glove it and hang on.
Not a bad decision there. Mahtomedi was pushing hard to stop it, get a face-off, see if he can control it, get it out of his zone.
Campbell and Lyons to face off. Face-off win for the Eagles, but kept in the zone by Slack. Not cleared out by Grace. To center. Johnson tried to free it up for the Eagles, couldn't do so. Critch back at his own line. Pass ahead comes to Johnson. 10 seconds to play in the third period. Puck free, turning and firing, and Hannon with a huge stop with 4.3 seconds to go, robbing Nick Tandeschi.
Tandeschi just all of a sudden was there doing a spinorama and ripping it. We saw one last night from Jake Flammeren, but Hannon again up to the task, making the stop, saving the bacon again with 4.3 seconds left.
Becker and Bry on the face-off. Win for Mahtomedi, and we are going to play overtime hockey tonight in Maplewood.
Wow. What a comeback by the Eagles here, John. Just came back down 2 goals starting this period. Come back to tie it up, and just some tremendous hockey.
8-minute overtime period.
Goals from Barber and Lyons send us to overtime tonight. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More playoff hockey from Maplewood after this.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
John Jacobson and Dan Ficken back with you at Aldrich Arena in Maplewood. 4-4 hockey game as we go to overtime in the Section 4A championship. Zephyrs led 4-2 going into that third period. Totino-Grace able to tie it up. Ty Barber jamming it past goalie Thomas Hannon. Brandon Hilliard the assist at 8:18 on the power play at 12:28. Carter Lyons with the goal, the assist to Nick Tandeschi. And that's where we sit right now.
All right, if you're a coach, you're sitting back and you tell your kids, play to win. Play to win. Go for the goals. I expect them to see some chances. These guys play pretty good defense, but and right now, it's all on the line. Go for it.
Hilliard and Becker on the face-offs. We start playoff overtime hockey. Jason Critch shooting it down into the Mahtomedi zone. Alex Jensen for the Zephyrs. Turnover. Barber takes it out. And Hilliard was being tied up in front of the net. Couldn't get a stick on it on the centering pass. Still in the Zephyr zone. Barber has it. Back behind the net. Barber trying to walk out front. Has it out in the slot. Back out further high to Critch. Dumps it to the corner. Hilliard with it there. His centering pass onto the stick of Moralt. For Mahtomedi, out he comes to center, dumps it into the Grace zone. Eagles turn it right back. Here's Barber on a rush, 2-on-2 with Hilliard. Barber pinches in, walks into the shot, and in the save, and covers up on the puck as the net comes loose. Ooh, great chance for Kai Barber, the senior from Brooklyn Park.
Barber coming in here and just gets a shot, glanced off the right shoulder of Hannon, holding tight. Drops down in front and he gets the glove back on. A tremendous effort by both players. Hannon's going to be tough to beat. He's just going to be tough to beat here.
Lions getting the face-off win, but it's Mahtomedi that controls the puck, but then they give it over. It's falling down was Campbell and unable to get it out of the zone. Lions bumped off the puck and a good check by Dick Burner. Around near boards, it comes to Slack. Grace doing a great job in this overtime session, keeping Mahtomedi bottled up. Shot on net and in the save. Now taken by Taylor. Now the Zephyrs come out. Pass ahead to Slack. Into the Grace zone and come off of his stick as Nauman tries to clear it away. Tandeschi gives it up back of the net. Campbell had it for a moment. Now it's Olsen for the Eagles. Nauman around the boards. Trying to get it for Johnson. Shot from the blue line. Deflects to the corner. Gathered in. Centering pass in front. Comes to Slack. Dropping it to the slot. And a rifled high by Taylor. He was trying to go for that top corner and just missed the net. Now for Osseo with the puck. Back out to the blue line to Taylor. Shot away looking for the tip in front by Slack, and that went wide. Now it's Mahtomedi putting the pressure on in the Eagle zone with 6 minutes to play in the first overtime. Tie up along the boards. Comes back. Another shot from the blue line. It's up in the defenseman Olsen's jersey, and he's got it caught up in him, and that brings a whistle.
I think that stung a little bit, but boy, it was a nice block. It was fortunate it stuck into those pads. You get a little scared sometimes when defense is blocking that close in front of their net that it'll glance off. Well, I kind of felt it there and held it together on it. Boy, the Zephyrs coming back with a good effort here.
Seidel and Vogley on the face-off. Vogley getting it out for Grace and shooting it down to Mahtomedi at the end. Hennon comes way out of his net to play it and plays it up out of play, and the face-off will come down in his end. It's a little dangerous play. He was clear to the corner.
Well, the other part too, he shot it over the glass. A lot of times in games, that's going to be a penalty, but I don't think the refs should dare call one right now in this overtime.
Play in the corner and along the boards and dumped out to center. Shot back down to the Eagles' end where it's gathered in by Critch. Jason Critch played a fine game here tonight for Totino-Grace. It's the pass, missed it, and Neal able to shoot it back down in for the Zephyrs. Around the boards, to the left side, here's a chance for Barber. Barber with a shot, Hennon the glove save.
Barber coming down the left side here, just kind of rips one. Hennon stopped. It probably would have gone over the net, but the point is, got a shot on down there and got a face-off in the offensive zone for the Eagles.
Barber and Becker on the face-off, one by Barber. Henderson shot away, another glove save for Hennon.
Well, at the rate Hennon's going right now, John, it isn't going to take a straight-up shot. They're going to have to get a deflection or somebody in front of him. He's solid right now.
Tie up off the face-off. Eagles keep the puck in the Zephyr zone. It's in the corner, now taken by Neal. Banks it up. Knocked down at the blue line by Hilliard. Kept in the zone by Henderson. Puts it on net. Steered away to the corner. Tie up there. Eagles trying to gain control and hold the zone. Jensen trying to push it out for the Zephyrs to the blue line. Puck kept in and shot wide by Nauman. Down to the far boards and taken by Neal. Gets it up at center ice. Feeds it on the right wing. Here's Becker. Dangerous always, and puts his shot on net. And Dominic Whippler the save on Jack Becker.
Whittler holding strong on a shot from a wide angle, but a shot on goal nonetheless. Him being steady too. Took it into his pads and held on. No rebounds.
Campbell and Swan to face off. Excuse me, Campbell and the Lions on the face off. Swan also on the ice. The defenseman playing it now off the face-off win for the Eagles. Puck played around near boards. Alex Johnson gets it out to center. Shot back in by Taylor, or to the line. Now back in. Long on that. Whippler will leave it for Critch. Critch will skate it up. It's the pass to Johnson, rink wide and cleared by Kandeski down in the Zephyr zone. The Eagles will chase after it. Cleared but kept in at the point. Swan with a shot. It's a lot in front and cleared out of the zone by Mahtomedi, and that pass just missing to Osseo from slack. It's icing on the Zephyrs.
Good pinch by the Eagles up top in the Zephyr zone. Good block shot by the Zephyrs, getting it over and clearing it out. Boy, you see now, Johnny, how faceoffs are going to be so important here with these faceoffs in each other's ends.
Faceoff win for Grace. They're going to tag up, get back onside as Mahtomedi clears it back out. Olsen lost it. Here's a chance for Mahtomedi. Henderson couldn't get a stick on her. Excuse me, Gunderson was having his stick tied up from behind. Now Olsen for Grace, got it out to center. Puck free in the neutral ice area and shot ahead by Kangas into the zone. Olsen for Grace around the boards, kept in right point by Buttermore, put it wide of the net. Centering pass in front that went through the skates of Seidel. Out to center. And cleared back into the Grace end. Here comes Olsen with it. Missed on the pass, but it came in on net, so no icing. And then covering up on it is Hennon, so a break for the Eagles. Instead of icing, they get a face-off down on the Zephyr zone.
All of a sudden, a tennis game breaks out. We go to one end, then we go to the other end, then we go to the other end, and then we go to the other end. Both teams just skating their brains out here, trying to get that deciding goal.
Face-off win for the Eagles. Shot goes wide of the net off of Critch's stick. And out comes Moralt for Mahtomedi into the Eagles zone. Lost the puck as he came in. Sent around the boards by Grace. And chased down by Neal in his own end. His pass a little bit behind Jensen. He's got to come back for it. And Eagle player was offside. He was touched by Barber. And we'll bring the face-off outside the Zephyr line with 2:22 to go in the first overtime.
A tremendous back and forth action by both teams here. You can see they're kind of sitting on their breezes a little bit. They're starting to get a little tired now. It's been a lot of hockey to play tonight at a high pace.
Jensen with the pass. Shot in now into the Eagles zone. 2:09 to play in the first overtime. Pushed out to center. Good job by Jensen. Now they're going to call a hand pass, though. He did a good job to keep Barber from moving forward, but then passed it ahead to his teammate. So the faceoff will come back down in to the Zephyr zone on the hand pass call. Lyons and Campbell on the faceoff again. Clean win for the Zephyrs.
Nice win by the Zephyrs. So that was just really well done.
Pass up to center, trying to hit it to Slack, and was picked off by Nauman. He got it down to the Zephyrs end. Turnover pass out in front, comes to the blue line. Shot there, they score! Totino-Grace wins 5-4 in overtime. Oh, and so tough for Mahtomedi, Dan, that went off the defenseman. Hennon never had a chance.
Trevor Dipburner is just heartbroken right now. He saw it go in off his chest, and it just, the poor kid's face down on the ice. Just heartbroken. Just heartbroken. Tremendous game, though. It just shows you in overtime, you throw the puck at the net, and anything can happen here, and it was the Eagles' night. They go to state. But the Zephyrs have nothing to be ashamed of. Wow, what a hockey game. Get a look at it. Bit of a turnover here right there. The shot goes in and it just bounces off Dipburner's front of his jersey. Just, oh. You hate to see that happen, but congratulations to the Eagles.
Lions from Melbourne. For the Eagles at 6.
Well, they gave the goal to Lyons, but it looks like it would be Nauman unless they're going to say Lyons was close to the puck in front of the net. I think Nauman was the last one to touch it. I'm sure either guy would gladly take it at this point. They are going to state for the first time in 9 years. Let's take one more look at it, Dan.
You see the puck come up top here. As it deflects off the chest.
That's a tough one.
Oh, boy. Dittmeier still down. The Mahtomedi crowd that was so loud is just stunned. Absolutely stunned into silence.
Boy, you feel for those kids. And it's like last night with Breck. And they were the #1 seed, and even though they've been there 5 times in the past, how hard these kids take it. And Mahtomedi, none of these guys have been there before. None of the Grace kids that are on the ice have been to the state tournament, even though both of these programs have been very strong in Class A. And the third period comeback for the Eagles, and then they win it at 6:31 of overtime. Carter Lyons gets credit for the goal. Chandler Nauman with the shot gets the assist. And the Eagles, for the first time since 2005, Dan Ficken headed to the state tournament.
The dream of every high school hockey player in the state of Minnesota to make an appearance at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, to play for the Ultimate, the state championship of the state of hockey. And just a tremendous game here. It's really hard that there had to be a loser here, John. Both teams played tremendously well. But it's going to be the Grace Eagles representing this section in the state.
State tournament play starts Wednesday. The coaches seed for the tournament this weekend, and Grace will find out who they play in the state tourney. But they are going on to St. Paul. Mahtomedi finishing up the season 16-11-1. That'll do it for our coverage tonight. Channel 45 has all the coverage of the state tournament for you, and our final hockey game of the year for you on Channel 12. And what a game it was in overtime in the Section 4A championship. It's Totino-Grace headed to state. They beat Mahtomedi 5-4.